Professor Chomsky, I was wondering what's your opinion on such overly populist left-wing agitators such as Michael Moore are, and whether they're of any remote help in America today?
Well, I don't exactly know what overly populist means. He's trying to reach the general public, that's for sure. Yeah, I think he's had a very significant effect. I don't know if it's the left. He reaches a general audience. Just out of curiosity, I don't see films much, but my wife and I went to watch Bowling for Columbine and went purposely to a sort of lower middle class, working class neighborhood where we see what more interested in the reaction than in the film. And it was interesting. I mean, in a way, he was mocking their beliefs and commitments, but it was a pretty enthusiastic audience, whether because it wasn't entirely clear whether it was because they were regarding it as satire and not meaningful, or whether they resonated with what he was saying. But he certainly has reached a very wide audience, but not particularly the left, which he's not talking to. You don't have to be told that they don't like guns. But and of course, there's a backlash. So across the spectrum of educated opinion, from what's called left in the United States, like the New York Times, which recently was described as the most left-wing institution on the face of the earth by the president's economic advisor, a distinguished economist from Harvard. So from the New York Times over to the far right, there's they exploit him as a way of kind of undermine anything he's speaking for. Actually, that's true in England too. I don't read the English press regularly, of course, but I did happen to be here last May when the Cannes Festival was going on, and I either won or came close to winning a prize. And there was a long interview with him in one of the British journals, maybe The Independent, I don't recall, which was a rather derisive interview. I don't recall the author, but in it he made the standard accusations that Moore lies and he's not trustworthy and so on. And the proof that he lies, the main proof that he lies, which was kind of interesting, is that he claims to have come from a working class background, but his father owned a house and owned a car, so he's lying. His father was an auto worker, and he's claiming to come from a working class background, which tells you something about, not about him, but about England, and about the way the notion of class has been eliminated from consciousness. So if a person's working class, he's not working class if he happens to own a car, which every steel worker does. But that's pretty standard, the kind of derision of his somewhat class-based and somewhat populist critique. What the overall effect is, it's hard to say, because the propaganda is all on the other side. So what reaches readers of the press and people who watch television and so on is the derision and the fabrication about his untrustworthiness and so on. On the other hand, he reaches a large audience, so it's a mixed effect.